Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Monday afternoon. I'm tired. I feel like most people are tired these days. I don't know if it's just being a mom, being a manager, or just being older than 30. But um, so I have struggled a bit with what my topic is going to be for this month. It's end of our financial or Q2 for Twilio. And so I have a bunch of thoughts around being a manager at the end of a quarter, being a sales manager at the end of the quarter, just being a sales manager in general, um, kind of like being a babysitter. No offense. Love my team. Love my team. Hopefully they're listening. And then Friday happened and Roe versus Wade was overturned. Again, this is not meant to be a political podcast. This podcast was created so I could share my experiences and hopefully people could learn from them. Not learn just about me, but like maybe consider other people's situations, put themselves in other people's shoes, pause before passing judgment. I mean, so many things, right? And then it's meant to be from my point of view. So I know not everything is going to resonate with the listeners. Some things are going to surprise people and some things might make people angry. Totally understand. I mean, everyone can have their own opinion. I have certain morals, beliefs, values that I hold very strongly, and that's what I drive my decision on, like who and where I spend time, how, Clay and I raise Manny, how I carry my relationships with friends and family. And so I say all of that because it is going to be like a really, I guess, strong topic today. I might get emotional. I don't know. I think I'm more nervous than anything because yeah, this, what I'm going to share is like super personal, and I'm not doing this for sympathy. I am going to share my, sadly have to say, like first experience of sexual assault so that people understand that like this happens a lot and more than you might know and more than like people you might even think. Like, I'm really grateful I have a therapist. I haven't talked to them about this specifically. Like I mentioned it, but it has never been like the topic of our conversations. Anyways, I'm going to pause. And so what happened on Friday stirred up so many emotions for me. And it just caused all these flashbacks, like when I was like a super stupid, rebellious teenager and did not take care of myself and did not respect my body, and just trying to figure out life and be loved and figure out what that meant and all these things. And then it brought up the time I was sexually assaulted. So I think I was either 19 or 20. I know I was underage, 100% under drinking age. And I went to college in Miami. And when I would come home, I would party like quinceañeras, like birthday parties, whatever, because I just needed to always go out. It's like what filled my void of whatever I was missing at that time. So I was heavily intoxicated and I went home with a guy who it wasn't my boyfriend, but like we had hung out a lot and like I liked him a lot and like we had hooked up before. And we were at, I remember that. I know the house too, because I have to drive by it every time I'm back home. But it's like this ranch, and I went there with him, and like I ended up passing out, blacked out, obviously drunk. And when I finally like woke up or like snapped back into it, there was just this man who was standing at the end of the bed, and he was pulling his pants up and putting his belt back on. And I just remember being like, who is this person? Like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And then I remember like being super disoriented and like standing up and like looking out this doorway, and there were just all these guys laughing, drinking, just having a good time, as if no one knew what was going on, or as if no one like cared. And I couldn't even find the person that had gone to that house with. I remember I ran out of the house, and I got in my mom's red Beetle that I drove around when I would come home from college. And I just sped home. And I was thinking, oh my God, like, what just happened? Like, oh my God, I feel so stupid. Oh my God, I can't tell anybody, like I'm underage and I'm drinking. Like, it's my fault. I wasn't careful enough. And like blaming myself for what just happened. And, you know, obviously went the next day to the freaking either CVS or Walgreens that's in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And like having to buy the Plan B pill and being like, fuck, like, okay, whatever, it's done. And now I think about it, I've only told like a really few people about this. I don't even think I told my friends that I was partying with that night, like what happened, because I was just ashamed. Like, it had to be my fault, right? Like, if I wasn't so drunk, if I was responsible, then I would have known what was going on. And sorry, I'm gonna take a pause, but I was lucky. Like, I wasn't a kid, right? And I didn't get pregnant, and I didn't get any type of disease, and all I walked away with is guilt and a terrible memory that literally, like, no matter where I am, like if I just think of that, like it's burnt within my brain. And it happens, and people get abused every day. It's so sad and it's so terrible. And instead of focusing on protecting children and on focusing on changing the narrative of like, oh well, like it's my fault because I was underage drinking, or you know what, it was my fault because I blacked out. It's like, no, it's not my fault. It is that individual's fault for doing what he did to me. And yes, I will never know exactly what happened, but that's something I live with forever. And what if I would have gotten pregnant? I couldn't have gone through it. And now I can't sit here today and say like, yeah, I would have gotten an abortion, or no, I wouldn't have gotten an abortion. Like, I don't know. And I can't give my mental sanity and the limited mental space I have to thinking about that. But with what happened on Friday, I can't help but think about the what ifs. And I can't help but think about all the what ifs that other women are going to have to go through because of this idiotic decision. And we need to start changing the narrative. If someone sees something, you need to say something. If something happens to you, ask for help, convey in someone. I know that's so much easier said than done. But we have to do better as a society to support people who go through sexual assault, who go through mental abuse, who go through so many things, because we can only become better if we focus on that. Oh, that was a lot, but I'm sharing it because I think more women and more girls have been sexually assaulted, have been raped than you think. I mean, me sharing that, like, I don't know, I just feel like me, right? I mean, I'm 31, I have a family, I have my house, I have a good job, and I have all this stuff, and I was raped. And there was other sexual assault situations in college, that same thing. Well, I was drunk and I didn't exactly say no, and same situation. But that I'll take ownership for, because I feel guilty like I need to, but I shouldn't. But that's my story. And I ask everyone listening that you take into consideration how personal of a decision it is to have to get an abortion. And not everyone listening is going to be in the US, but these type of conversations are going to be happening in your country at some point, if they aren't already. And sometimes you just have to take into consideration and put yourself in someone else's shoes. Because the more we just think about me, only me, at some point it's going to really have a negative impact on others. And you have to think about the greater picture, especially if you have kids. Oh my gosh, if you have kids, now we have Manny, I think of so much more. Like, I want to recycle more, as much as recycling might be a complete lie. So I want there to be a chance that Manny sees like a real life polar bear outside of a freaking zoo. And I want to do my best to raise him understanding that he can be whatever he wants to be in regards to a career, or who he loves, or what music he listens to. Like, you have to start thinking of others. And I share my story so that you take a second to think, well, shit. Maybe my friend in college was sexually assaulted. Maybe the teacher that's teaching our son was, sexually assaulted at some point. Maybe she got an abortion. Like, people have their own trauma and they're going through it. And the decision on Friday personally has stirred up so much trauma for me. And I am doing whatever I can to donate, to, help a cause, fucking march if I need to. Sorry, I said the F word and I try not to swear. But yeah, so again, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just hoping that others listening to this that have also might have been violated or taken advantage of or raped, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. You don't deserve that. And I really hope that you have some source of support today that you can open up to and talk to about it. Because it will not cure it, but would help you move forward and it'll help you identify maybe certain beliefs and morals that you strongly believe in or strongly want to believe in and can like act towards. Last night in bed, I told Clay, and I've been putting off recording. I was going to record this on Friday night and then Saturday night, then Sunday night. And I was like, I'm just too scared. And now here we are. I told Clay, I was like, Clay, I'm going to talk about when I was sexually assaulted on my podcast tomorrow. I just want you to know. And he goes, thank you for telling me. Is there anything I can do to help or to support? And I was like, no, I just want you to know because I don't know. I just want you to know because I don't know what it's going to do to me after. Obviously, make me a hot mess, which it has. But like, I just want you to know. And I'm so, so grateful for him. I mean, heck, my parents don't even know. My parents don't know a lot of the dumb things I did when I was younger. I don't know if they even know how to play podcasts. So I think we're okay for now. Oh, God. But, I think one other thing. When I was looking for a new therapist, I wanted to find one that identified as Latinx, or even though they can't openly say I'm Latinx for HIPAA reasons, right, they could speak Spanish. And so I found one. And on our first call, she's like, oh, why do you want to chat? Like, are there certain like traumas that you're dealing with? And I explained the sexual assault. And look at me, I was about to be, maybe it was a language barrier, but I'm done making excuses for other people. But the first thing this therapist said, she's like, yeah, what did anything happen to you? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, yeah, did anything happen? I was like, I was raped. She goes, yeah, but I mean, did you get pregnant? Did you have to get an abortion? Did you get an STD? I was like, oh my God. Is this person who's supposed to be a licensed therapist asking me if something more happened after I was raped? Because if not, then that makes it okay. And I was like, I started bawling my eyes out. I was like, what are you talking about? I was raped. What else needed to happen? She's like, oh, I was just trying to say that, like there was no like after effects or side effects, because like there could have been, and it could have been worse. And I was like, you know what? This isn't going to work out. She's like, no, what do you mean? I was like, this ain't going to work out. I literally just told you I was raped. And your response is, yeah, well, it could have been worse. Like, let me tell you, that is definitely something you don't tell someone who's spilling their guts about being sexually assaulted. Anyway, so I share that story because for those of you who are lucky enough to have access to therapy, find a therapist that truly understands you and challenges you, but listens to you and really wants to understand what you're feeling and what you want to talk about. And if you reach a moment where that therapist doesn't make you feel stronger, now you don't want someone who's just going to listen and say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You want someone who's going to challenge you, but you want to leave your therapy feeling empowered and feeling strong and feeling clear. And if you have an intro call, like I had an intro call with someone, and you're crying and upset about it, hang up, whatever, pay the fee in full and find a different therapist, because therapy is vital. I know I've said it multiple times, but therapy is vital. Make sure if you have access to it, you're leveraging it. And for those of you who are in the United States and have the opportunity to vote, please vote. It makes a difference. Every freaking vote counts. I can't tell you one way or another, but you already know my opinion. And I will be doing what it takes to get women their rights back. Because best believe, if I have a daughter, I will protect her and teach her to protect herself as much as possible. But also, it's time to raise the men better. And that's why I'm very grateful too to have Manny, because I know that Clay and I are going to be putting into this world a cute little man who's going to be respectful of women and men. He's going to be respectful, period, and is going to add kindness to this world, and is going to make a difference. So I ask all of you to think about that, whether you're single, you're married, you're dating, you have a family. Do take time to think of others and think of the impact you can be having. I think it's, again, a shorter episode, but emotionally, that's as much as I can give. If there's anyone out there who's listening and wants to talk, whether you experience something similar, something different, let me know. Like, I think most people who listen know me. They have my cell phone number, WhatsApp, Slack at work. I mean, anything. I think on the different channels I can upload also like my email if someone comments, but like I'm here. if you need some type of support for something or just someone to listen to, because let's be honest, sometimes you just want to talk and be listened to. You don't want a solution, you don't want a response, you just want to talk, vent, whatever you want to call it. I'm here and I will listen, and I will not give feedback. I will give feedback. I will have camera on, have camera off, whatever you need. So we all need at least one outlet, one support person who's going to be there and not judge you. And if you don't have that, I will be that for you. Alrighty. Thank you all for listening. Episode 3 of Mama Melly the Manager. Hopefully next time I have some cover art, maybe an intro, outro. I don't know. There's so much I can add to this, but one step at a time. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it.